Wilhelm Wundt, the father of experimental psychology. The first psychologist to operationalize the process of self-examination, also known as inspection for experimental use. He published the first psychology textbook in 1874 entitled The Principles of Physiological Psychology. After that, he opened an institution for experimental psychology at the University of Leipzig in 1879. It included the world's first laboratory dedicated solely to researching and investigating psychological phenomena.
Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for evaluating and treating pathologies in the psyche through dialogue between a patient and a psychoanalyst. His work hypothesized that the mind's structure was made up of id, ego, and superego. Freud's work set the stage for all psychotherapy.
Mary Wilton Calkins, a pioneer for female psychologists, the second woman in the world to complete all the requirements for PhD at Harvard. But Harvard refused to award her an official PhD at that time. They didn't consider female students. Inventing the paired association technique of memory, she was the one of the psychologists to believe psychology should be based on the conscious self as seen in the relation to its environment, because the first woman to serve as the president of the American Psychological Association, or APA.
The impact and contribution of psychology. In essence, psychology is beneficial to humans in large part because it can explain why people behave in certain ways. A psychologist can help people in improving their decision-making, stress management, and behavior, based on analyzing past behavior to better predict the future behavior with the use of this kind of expert insight. All of this can support people in having more fulfilling relationships, more self-confidence, and better communication in general. But what is the contribution of psychology or psychologists to education? Psychologists working in the field of education study how people learn and retain knowledge. They apply psychological science to improve the learning process and promote educational success for all students. How does psychology impact the world? Psychological science deepens our understanding of human behavior within social, cultural, and linguistic context.
Jean Piaget, 1896 to 1980, a pioneer in child psychology, developed the first theory of child cognitive development. It explains how a child constructs a mental model of the world. Piaget's theory suggests children move through 4 stages of mental development. Bruce Frederick Skinner, 1904 to 1990, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, an American psychologist best known for his influence on behaviorism as radical behaviorism. He believed that all human action was the direct result of conditioning. In his research, has 2 different types of behaviors, the radical behaviors and the operant behaviors. Skinner theorized the human brain could be conditioned through operant conditioning, positive and negative reinforcement.